Morning, everyone. Morning, Angel. Yeah, Wafu. Yeah, Wafu halted. So let's take a look at the daily chart. So this is not a stock you want to hold. You look at the daily chart. It'll probably be a scalp, right? Or just a day trade. Every time it caps up, it fades back down. But yeah, it's probably good for a scalp. But it has to hold over 10. It's halted for now. It's going to reopen at 636. BHAT. Getting some movement. Eyes had a gap down. a couple of days ago. It's retesting the 90 EMA now. 90 EMA bounce, break, probably retest at least, and then probably decide after that where it wants to go. 1090s. So this is probably gonna take a while to set up. Hopefully it consolidates around here. 5 minutes slowly catches up. Eyes. I'll keep eyes on watch. BHAT. Probably a potential setup as well. But gonna let the 5-minute anime get tested first. Something like this. It's probably gonna bounce. Probably gonna bounce off the 90 EMA here. Breaks down, test the 5-minute, and then reclaims higher low. And probably could go higher there. It's not ready yet. We're gonna give all these some time to set up. So Wafu opened up, yeah, wick and sell down. So it looks like it could probably fade all day if it wants to right now. It broke above these highs, but failed to hold it. So yeah, I'll be careful on WAFU. Atnf is altered as well on the downside. Hit daily resistance. This could be a fader. Let's see what else I have. Okay, so just consolidate around this level for some time before this crash happened. Now it's capped up. So this could be a potential fader. If people in here haven't sold, they're probably gonna have a chance to sell here. But finding an entry would be tricky here. HOFV, little pop-up. And the 90 EMA bounce yesterday. I also need to go back over VWAP. So I'm gonna put a alert price alert above this level. If it goes above this, I'll rewatch it. So this looks decent. It retested the 51s. Let's see if we could form something here. The full test would be 153, and then fully tested at IMMP. I'm gonna buy this. Oh, okay, so this. All right. So I grabbed some there. Oh, it's only 300 shares. So I'll probably add if 161 breaks. All right, so I'm adding the I'm a total of 800 shares here. For this break, I'm risking at 155. Breakout looks a little weak though. I don't really like the action. So I sold some at 165. I didn't like this breakout action, but I'm probably will stop the rest on let's see if it goes this measured move. Okay, why is my tool not working? All right, so this Fibonacci move would be 168, and then 176 would be the full target, but let's see what happens here. So this is the 1 minute pullback. So let's see if it holds this 1 minute. Good morning, Babik. So I'm in BHAT right now. I'm gonna stop if probably 159. I would just give it 159. I don't really trust this. If it doesn't hold the 1 minute, it's probably gonna pull back to 155. So this was the 1 minute test pullback. But it couldn't hold the high of daybreak, so I'm just gonna give it this 159 break and I'm gonna take it off. But if it does break higher here, I think 176 would be where it'll have trouble. But yeah, I'm gonna take it off as 159 breaks. Because this is a higher day and if it gets rejected, it might be a wash back down to like 150s. So I'm gonna just be cautious of that. And you got a big seller here, 141. Yeah, I took it off there. I don't want to deal with it, so $5 loss. So I took off for the rest at 154. Yeah, that's what I expected. So don't when you see like something that breaks higher day and it fails to hold above it, definitely you want to sell a little bit earlier than your risk because you get a little wash. People that bought in here expecting more follow through, and then they will all sell together, so create this big wash. But now that it's tested 15-minute chart, we can wait for it to set up again, maybe later. But yeah, it was a small loss there, pretty much flat trade, $5 loss. But it was worth a try if, you know, things, it can get heated up and run pretty wide. But yeah, so we sized in with our risk at 155 here for this break. Had a decent volume, no follow through, couldn't hold above 5-day, so it's a weak sign. So I took a little bit off there on like 165, and then just took off the rest when it broke this level. So yeah, it's just a quick trade, worth the attempt, small risk. So let's see how eyes is doing. So eyes broke down, created an inverted cup and handle, broke down here. So looks like eyes no setup for us. So what else? So WAFU end up resuming, halting again onto the upside. But yeah, I'm not sure what the news is on this, but I definitely don't want to hold. Don't hold this. It'll probably be a scalp. You know, just take what you can. Because this day here, I think it went, I guess 100%, 150%, and it closed on the bottom. So just make sure to sell. But yeah, it's halted now. It's untradeable for me. Yeah, Atnf probably a fader as well. Met with daily resistance here, and now it's rejecting. It's probably gonna get sold off on Atnf. Clo. Okay, so Clo had a nice flag here after it retested the 5-minute chart. This flag. So it was a decent, alright looking chart. For the break of 490s, you can risk like 470s. But it was under VWAP, so FEDU. Yeah, this one's probably also a fader. Each wicks gets sold back down, so TLS, what is this? Okay, no higher price stock. Let's skip it. What is this? AACG. Oh, Bavik. Let me check that out for you. PHAS. Yeah, PHAS, very low volume. Yeah, it is bouncing off support around this level. But other than that, I don't see anything else here. It was extended on the downside. Now it's retesting the 9 EMA as resistance. So you got 9 EMA support, became resistance, and then it really depends on what it does here. If it consolidates and break it, or rejects and lower high here and break the support. But nothing there. Yeah, E10F. This probably be a potential fader, but I can't find an entry too short here. Maybe if it retests VWAP and they do a inverted cup and handle here on this side, then I'll probably get interesting for a short later. But I'm just gonna put an alert here when it goes above this. Yeah, but if it goes lower here, probably not a short. Unless it consolidates a little longer. And then you create a bear flag. And then breaks it. Yeah, but if it breaks here, oh, yeah, I'll probably go lower, but I can't take it. Oh, NAKD. I think this would need to consolidate at the 5-minute cash out. So this can consolidate like for 10 minutes. You can see people buying this 1 minute flag, but AMC. Going back. Let's see, this expanded to things that are up 5%. It's not much above 10%. NUE, higher price stock. AA, also higher price stock. That also extended. But this can get tricky. But this looks like a short if it bounce here. Okay, no bounce. So this one is extended on the 5-minute chart. $31.17. Yeah, the 5-minute chart is still catching up now. Only if it had it bounce like up here a little bit and lower high, then it'll probably go back down to 3080s. VIPS. Okay, so this could be a short. 3411. So this is really extended. Yeah. That break. That might have been a spot for short. Retest 33. Risking like 34.50s. It's like a 50-cent risk. It's pretty wide, but root. ATNF. Let me check that out for you. So ATNF, I looked at this earlier. If you look at the daily chart, you bought 10. Yeah, that's not good. You bought the highs here. So if you look at the daily chart, you have a lot of consolidation around this area, and so people that didn't sell on this breakdown, they will probably sell for a break even or a small loss in this day. So you're gonna have that what's gonna create resistance. So it's for me, this stock looks like it's gonna be an all-day fader. So yeah, if you're holding at 1022, I'll look for if it does bounce off this hourly chart, which may go to the low of like 760s in the next hour or so. But if it gives a bounce to like 9, or like around 9, I would take it off. Yeah, definitely it's yeah, definitely you don't want to be in this stock right now. But if it does give a bounce, I would take it off, you know, for a loss, a smaller loss here. But that's if it bounce. It could just very well be like a big red candle. It's just gonna get sold down too from all these people up here. All those people that traded up here. It's just gonna get sold down. So unless it catches a bid around the hourly chart, you might get a small bounce towards 9 again, and I would probably sell around 9 for a loss. FEDU. So FEDU is reclaiming VWAP. This might get interesting. So retested a lot of the EMAs, reclaiming VWAP, holding this resistance level as support. So this can get interesting if it holds here for 5 minutes. So I want a 5-minute candle holding up here. But the 183. So if it try to flag here, it's going to be a little early. If it breaks 190, 191, 191 will be the flag, risking 183. But it's going to be a little too early, so I might try it, like a small one. But it's going to be an early one, so hopefully it pulls back here. Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah, I didn't want to go there, so good pullback. Yeah, so more consolidation there. Like 2 more minutes. But yeah, that pullback was pretty strong. Looks like it's met with some buyers here. Okay, so it looks like it's going to try to break out. Didn't really like, it didn't really consolidate enough for me to have an entry, but let's see if it pulls back here. Yeah. So potentially that 91 break, people were buying that and risking 183. So like they're risking 7 cents. But if it consolidated a little longer, I would have been more confident on that to take that trade. But let's see if it pulls back here. Maybe we can get something later. Yeah, or it's just gonna run from this breakout. But yeah, if it consolidated a little longer, I would probably took it. But we can extend the flag line here. Extend this flag line, and maybe it'll do something like this. It'll be a big cup and handle. Hasn't, so it did break 2 by 2 pennies. So if it consolidates around here for like 15 minutes, I'll probably look for an entry later. So on FEDU, it's definitely not a buy up here. Yeah, ATNF not getting a bid yet. You might get a bid at 760. It's really weakness, just saw sales all the way through. Put an alert up here now. Yeah, I was more short bias on the ATNF. Just didn't give any signals for me to go. I did have a trendline break around this area. I think if this would have been a bounce right here, probably look for a short from that lower high bounce like this. Maybe an inverted cup and handle, and then you can short that, risking that lower high. It would have been a pretty good short. The context on the daily is, is a short on the daily. AACG. Hey, Football United. Yeah, Wafu. Yeah, it's just halted every like 5 minutes. I think this is like probably the third or fourth halt. A little hard to trade, but it is hitting highs of these. But it's probably not the stock you want to hold. I don't know if it'll follow through, but if you look at the daily chart, it has wicks, so it tells me that it goes up and then goes down. So that those are what wicks mean in a candlestick. Like these wicks on a candlestick chart, that means the day was like this and then it went back down at the close. So if you're in it, that's good because it's all-time high, so it's good to take some profits. It's at a resistance level, and you can see the volume here. It's pretty big. The volume today hasn't passed that, so you might get some resistance here. So there might be some sell right here. So I would definitely take some profit when it opens, but unless it has some crazy news, I think this is probably going to be it's already extended right now. It's probably going to retest 14 soon, go back down to 14. But yeah, I don't typically I don't trade these stocks. They don't give any setup. It's just a chasing market. This is just a stock that if you get in early, then yeah, you're good. But I don't see any setups to trade here. And chasing is not my thing. So FEDU actually broke high of days. Didn't end up getting any setups. Just green candles all the way up. Broke high of days. I don't have short on it. Getting extended, but this will probably be a good short for this 205 break. But yeah, Wafu halted again. yeah. I'll just slowly take some profit. Probably crash back down soon. AACG. So AACG does have some meat back down. So this is 513. It has room to retest $5 for 495-ish. So okay, it's a little bit spready. Yeah, it's really spready. But this doesn't look good now, but the 5-minute ENOB is slowly catching up, so not the best setup. But it could be for a quick scalp short. Let's see. 512. So you're gonna risk like 512, short 512, risking 528 if this creates a lower high. But if it ends up breaking, then it's gonna probably go higher. So just a reminder, I trade these two strategies, and I'm just gonna wait for them to set up for these stocks that I'm looking at. So the long setup is the flag play. So looking at prior resistance becomes support and then drawing that flag line. And then buying the flag with your risk and stop at that prior low, that swing low. And then usually it'll break and continue, and you can take some sells there. And typically you'll get like a 2-to-1 and 3-to-1 based off your risk level. And then on the short side, look for the inverted cup and handle on extensions, and then shorting on the cup line, risking your stop at the prior high, and then shorting at that cup line, and then taking profits on the way down. So those are my two strategies that I look, day in and out. So if it doesn't set up, then no trades. So right now AACG is looking to form the inverted cup. So the cup line is 512, but it's not too extended. It's not too extended now since the 5-minute is slowly catching up. So even if it breaks, the best you'll get, you might get a bounce of 5 and bounce of 490s. So now your risk to reward is just, you might just get a 1-to-1. So it's not like, it might still work, but you're just getting, you're risking X amount and you're getting that 1X amount, which is not the best. So you want it to be really extended, like down here has a target, and then you risk up here, and then you'll get like a 2-to-1. So you risk $10 here, and then you get $10, $20 if it goes down. Hey Angel, Nasdaq. So let me check QQQ. Yeah, I think what's going on with like the overall market, it's been pretty weird. Can't really use technical in this because there's a lot of fundamental and like stimulus and a lot of news going on. But it did break down on this huge downtrend. This way. It did break down, but couldn't close above it. It's somewhat like hanging on, so bounce on the 50. Bounce off the 50 EMA. So yeah, it looks like, you know, the market's going to crash, but every time it does look like it's going to crash, it just keeps hanging on. So, or not really crash, but like just a correction. But for QQQ, like all the tech stocks, it looks like it's breaking down already on this downtrend, and it's failing to hold above this downtrend chart line now. So it became resistance right here, and now depending on what it does here, you might get some consolidation and a big inverted cup and handle, and it might go down lower, or it'll try to reclaim this as support, reclaim this support level like this, and it'll probably break all-time highs again. So it really depends on what it does right now. But it definitely broke the downtrend. I mean, broke, you know, the trend for tech stocks, mostly in the QQQ. Yeah, EIQ. Oh yeah, yeah, another one. You know, I think it's just, you know, it's just getting chased up. Probably people are pumping it. I would avoid these. You know, you might get lucky. You know, you might get lucky buying here, and then it just gets pumped up, either by someone else or something. But it's not, you know, the right way to trade. You probably get lucky once or twice, but you end up buying up here, and then it's going to go back down, and then you end up losing all your money. So yeah, I would recommend to learn to trade. Yeah, unless it's like some news or something that's like really good. But it is this IPO yesterday, EIQ, open at 358. It's went up like 1,000% now. Yeah, but I don't know why. Looks like this is an education name, and then also Wafu is also education. So they're in the same sector. So Wafu and EIQ. So maybe the Wafu is or EIQ is a sympathy play, or one of them is leading each other, and the people are just looking at, okay, what's the next education stock to jump in. Elite education, yeah, they're like some education sector. So if you're lucky to find another one that will run, then you can get in early. But not my type of trade. Liberal, okay. So CLEU is also a China education stock. So it looks like here's another one, FEDU. Okay, so all of these are education stocks. Was there like some government news or something about education? Like all of these are all education stock that are up. EDTK, education. Yeah. But right now, yeah, probably people are just buying some news right now, so doesn't have any real technical stuff forming. It's life science. So Atnf finally finds a bid here. Probably trying to bounce. Like, forgot your name that asked in chat. I would definitely sell when it bounced over towards 9, 10. But it really needs to get over a VWAP if it wants to go higher. Yeah, pretty slow morning today in terms of real setups. A lot of stock that are up, but I feel like they're all either faded. Okay, so AACG, I missed it, but this would have worked out pretty well. I was watching this earlier for the inverted cup and handle. I think I took it off my screen. But that was a short right there, 512. 512 risking 528, this prior high. So it did create that lower high that I was looking for. It broke it, and you probably get a retest. And then maybe back lower. But right now it's testing the 15-minute chart, so this is support becomes resistance. Yeah. And this would have been a good trade. We would have gotten 40 cents. Risking 14 cents. Or like maybe 30 cents. Risking 16 cents to make 30 cents. So that's, yeah, a little bit over 2 to 1. But I didn't like it because the VWAP and 5-minute EMA is pretty close, but it just broke both through it. But this is a reach short opportunity, but yeah, I don't want to. There might not be any more meat to go lower, so I might just do this. I don't want to get stuck in it. TOS. So NAQD was extended when we were watching it. Finally tested the 15-minute chart. There was probably an entry here. PTN. BAL W. Oh, what is BAL W? Is it like a spec? So BAL W is getting extended. I'm gonna check what's the institutional holding on it, but I'm gonna look for a really cup and handle. BAL WX. BAL X. Oh, I can't find it on Finviz. BAL XU. Oh, 94% institutional owned. Yeah, that's gonna be tougher to short, but okay. Alright, scan these again. So Wafu pushing down, Glow. All these education is pushing down now. MX. Did these people got buy out? Looks like he's just trading up here. So PTN, I was like, okay, maybe. But it looks like it's breaking out here. It's a potential flag. Okay, let's see. CSCW. It's getting a daily rebound. It's a bit extended on the 15-minute chart. $158 is the level. Let's see. I'll probably smash this 158 level. If it gives a lower high here, and then bounce off the 5-minute chart and another lower high, we're gonna short it back down to 152. But 158 would be the level to watch. I'm probably gonna just set a alert if it hits 158, so I don't forget about it. Create alert at or below 158. So I want this to hit 158 here. That'll be the 158 support bounce as well as the 5-minute. And then a lower high at 160, like this. And I'm gonna short that at 158 if it cracks. And that should have room all the way back down to 150. So it's a 10-cent risk, risking 158, 160 stop. But that's not gonna be for like another 10 minutes. That'll take. I'll keep CSCW. Just a short potential. So lower high here, and then a lower high at 160. But it needs to bounce at 158. Hopefully it doesn't crack yet. So I'll just be watching this. I'll scan on my other screen. Alright, so there's the 150. Oh, okay, so it broke a little early there. Oh, that sucks. Oh well. I guess there was maybe this trend line broke. Would have been the earlier signal for this inverted cup and handle. But yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I was hoping for a 5-minute test here and then short back down to 150s. So yeah, this is what you call like the importance of larger time frame. You look at the 15-minute chart. You look at the 15-minute chart, the 90 EMA is down here. So you always have to keep in mind of all the higher time frames, right? If you're trading the 1-minute chart, look at the 5-minute chart. If you're trading the 5-minute chart, look at the 15-minute chart. If you're trading the 15-minute chart, look at the hourly chart. If you're trading the hourly, look at the daily chart. So all of those have to align for a stock to continue. If one is extended, the lower time frame will be less successful in going higher. So this is going to be, it's not going to go higher like this until it corrects back down to the 90 EMA on the 15-minute chart. So it's really important to look at other time frame. So that's why my bias was short here for that correction on the 15-minute chart. But unfortunately, it didn't give me and the setup I want, it probably broke from this this trend line break. And potentially probably this was the like 1 cent risk here. Would have been probably the best, but can't always catch everything or set up the way you want it to, but let's see. So that was the only signal I had. FEDU. So FEDU is starting to form inverted cup and handle here, similar to what I drew last time. Maybe in 5 minutes. I would like to see another bounce here, like this, and then it can go like 195 for the 50-minute chart. The 50-minute is extended. If you look at the 50-minute chart, it's just like slightly extended, but you can capitalize on that correction. And if you look at the 5-minute chart, it's starting to form inverted cup and handle on the 5-minute chart, and then break with that 5-minute 90 MA. But a bounce here would be a lot better, so you can get your risk tighter. Right now, if you short this break, it's going to be too extended on this downside, right? It already pulled back from 230s to this, so going lower is going to be already extended, so it's going to be a rebound. So it needs a rebound here, gives another lower high, and then you can risk this lower high up here, and it'll be a little tighter risk, like 10-cent risk. So ATNF bounced off that earlier chart. So 780 bounce. It's probably gonna try to test VWAP. But definitely I'd probably sell in here if you were holding at $10 around this area. It can go higher. I mean, it bounced on the hourly, so it has a chance to go higher, but it would need to, it'll probably hit some resistance here and then holds at support on the VWAP, and then you got a huge flag for like after lunch or afternoon trade. So holds VWAP as support, and then you get a huge flag. That'd probably be like ATNF. Alright, so this is an attempted flag here on FEDU. But I want to see this flag fail, lower high. $2. So it is getting a little extended though. So that's why I'm more short bias than long bias here. So the flag failed so far, and the high of this is 224, and then the low of this is 213. So that's 11-cent risk, and you're making 13 cents. So the best is like 1-to-1. Let's see what it does here. if this flag actually ends up holding and then create that support level up here, switch bias to a long. So it really depends what happens here. This could be a lower high for a short, or a higher high for a long. So it ended up breaking those highs there. So let's see. Any recommendations? I would start small, but in terms of like account, it's hard to day trade if you can't, if you don't have the funding like above 25,000 if you're in the US to go in and out multiple times. Because if you don't have the funding, then you only have three day trades in a rolling like 5 days or so. So it gets hard when you can't go in and out a lot of times, and then you might have some, like you end up buying and then you don't want to sell because you don't want to take your round trip, and then that might mess up your decisions. But yeah, when I started day trading, I did open like an offshore account, so it bypassed the PDT rule. I don't know if those type of brokers still exist or not, but yeah, you could fund like 2,000 or 3,000, really small. But those brokers had really high fees, and nowadays there's a lot of free brokers, but yeah, like the offshore account, you were allowed to, you know, day trade like freely. You don't have the PDT rule. So yeah, so it really depends. Like if you could fund 25,000 account or more, then yeah, I would recommend you could just fund it, but like you don't need to use all the capital. Just risk like $5 or $10 on a trade to get used to it. Or so like this trade here, right? Maybe there's a flag break at this level. So there's a flag break. So you could buy like 220 here. Stop at 213s. So that's 7 cents, right? So 7 cents stop. If you buy 100 shares, that's $7 loss. So you could buy like this at 100 shares. And since your stop is at you buy at 220, this low is 213. So this is 213. And that difference is 7 cents. So eToro. Yeah, I saw a lot of advertisement on eToro. Is it for crypto? I know like crypto and stuff is probably different. You can day trade, but does it let you do it for stocks as well? In the US? Are you in the US? But yeah, I would learn like risk management. It would probably be the best. I think a lot of traders, they come into the market thinking so when I started day trading, I was always a technical person. I always try to learn pattern. I always learn like candlesticks, like what the candlesticks mean. And also volume. So it's all about price action. So price action is probably the best indicator. Like if you know patterns, it's probably the first thing that happens. Like for instance, like AACG, like this one, I was watching for that pattern, right? It's my short setup. So if you look here on the screen here, so it's a short setup. So you get this, and then this, and then inverted cup and handle. Okay. Oh, it's because you're in Australia, so you probably don't have the PDT rule, and they only applies to US. I'm not sure what other laws they have around for the other countries, but yeah, the PDT rule is only for US. So yeah, so that's my short pattern, right? And then yeah, just going over this trade, right? So you got a same thing that happened. So for this trade, I was watching it. I just took it off my screen and it broke without me. But for this trade, it'll be this cup line is 512 right here. So you look at the 512 level. 528 would be the stop because this is the prior high here. So that's 528. So that's a 16 cent, right? So this is a 16 cent range. And then it dropped. But it has to be extended, right? Extended on some time frame. So extended on the 1 minute chart or 5 minute chart. And then your target would be either like the 15 minute chart or the 5 minute chart. So that if your target is down here and you're shorting up here, so your target is 475 or so, right? And then that's just, yeah, for rounding 6, it'll be a 40 cents, right? So this distance to this distance is 40 cents. You're risking 13 cents. So say if you buy 100 shares or short 100 shares, then this will be a $13 loss if it goes against you. But if it goes with you, for you, then you get a $40 win. So like my recommendation for beginners is to learn risk management. It'll help you in the long term. Like even though you're not successful in this trade, if you're taking, if you're always, risking $13 to make $40, even though you failed 3 times $39, even though you failed 3 times, when you make it back 1 time, you make up all those losses. So risk management is important, and I think a lot of beginners, when they jump into the market, they think about how much money they can make, but they don't think about how much money they can lose. So it's more important to minimize your losses than to maximize your profit. Yeah, ATNF, I mentioned this before a couple of times. If you look at the daily chart, you have, so the daily chart is here, and then it consolidated for 2 years or so here at this $10 level. So it's gonna hit resistance here. So this is today's candle, and when you have something like this and it's sold off, you have bag holders that didn't sell yet, like didn't sell down here. So you still have like people that are holding here. So those either bag holders or people that are waiting for, to get out break even or get out for a small loss, they will sell on this day because it's, giving them a chance for break even finally. So they will end up selling. So you're going to get this red candle back down to probably $6 where it came from. So if you haven't sold yet and you bought in the $10 area, it's not going to go back up there unless it holds $9 as support. So I recommended, I think it was someone asking in the morning, that you probably get a bounce around this hourly chart, which around 760. It bounced there. Now it's going to curl back over to VWAP, and I would recommend to sell up here because it's going to go lower. Yeah, I mean it's not yeah, like I look at the daily chart, right, and it gives me a bias like okay, it's a short, but I'm not gonna short until it gives me a signal. But it hasn't given me a signal yet. So there was this trend line. So potentially this was the high of day, a pre-market high break. It failed, rejected, and if you give an inverted cup and handle here to short, so you always want to look for a tight risk. So like a bounce like this, where you could risk here and then it'll break and go lower. So had it done this, I probably took it for a short lower. And then even if it consolidate a little longer here, I probably would take it for a bear flag. But yeah, it just felt a lot of weakness, a lot of sellers coming in. So that's why you barely have any bounce until like a little later. And you had a little bounce here and people are reselling. So this can go back to $6 end of day. FEDU. So FEDU, right, had a little flag break here, attempt, 7-cent risk. Now it's failing, getting extended, so kind of failed to hold the support level here. So I'll probably look for a short here. Okay, but I don't have shares available to short on this stock, so I can't short it. But this would be a short if it gives a lower high here in the break of this, and it'll probably go back to $2. Why? Because this extended on the 15-minute chart. You look at the 15-minute chart. So stocks tend to gravitate towards the higher time frame 9 EMAs, so 9 exponential moving average. So this is the 15-minute exponential moving average, and stocks tend to gravitate or correct back down to that level. So I guess my guess would be if you have shorts, this might be a potential setup. Like shorting at the 216 level, like this. Lower high, 216, short, stop at 230s. And target $2. So box W, so little cup and handle here, short 160s. Yeah, so today was a pretty slow day. There's a lot of stock moving, but it just looks like it was a lot of gappers or like halt, resume, and stuff where you were just going up, probably up due to news or hype or something. But I couldn't trade these things. Like WAFU, no setups at all, just straight up to the moon. When it went back down, no setups at all. So something you want to avoid. So FEDU somewhat give a little lower high here. It's trying to break, but there's a VWAP right here, which is the volume weighted average price. So if it breaks through that, it's probably going to go to do $2. Let's see, what do we have? Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, I don't really post much on my Instagram, but yeah, feel free to follow me. Try that. Or does this work? socials. Yeah, I post on my Twitter daily. Instagram, I created an account, but I posted there here and there. Yeah, thanks for the follow, Ishan Nimkar. Let's see, is there anything? So FEDU is flirting this VWAP area. And thanks for subscribing as well on YouTube. But yeah, most of the day you probably don't see me trade a lot because I'm just trying to look for setups, and it's more about quality over quantity. So you don't want to jump into just anything. So I'm really picky in trying to choose my stocks that I trade. But I traded just one today. BHAT, I took a very small loss on BHAT, and this was the attempt of the flag break earlier. So it was a 1 minute chart that tested the 5 minute chart. So I went ahead and tried this break here at 161 or so, stopping at 155. It broke some volume, no follow through. It couldn't hold above 5 days, so I felt weakness. So I ended up taking it off when it broke the 1 minute reversal. So I took it off there for a small loss. Yeah, I started my channel, or like continuously streaming, maybe just about like 2-3 weeks. So my channel is a little new, so hopefully it goes to more viewers that want to learn to trade. In terms of technical, yeah, because there's a lot of channels out there. Yeah, so FEDU, so it's working on that lower high here. So if it breaks, it's probably gonna go back to $2. But I don't have or shorts available to short this, but it looks an interesting short here. You can risk at 222 now, or this like 214 break or something. So this was a short signal, you know, just in case someone else has shorts available, but that's a short signal. It's gonna probably go back to $2. You can stop at 222. So there it is, going back down there. And also a sell signal, right? If you learn to trade both long and short, you know when to sell. So if, like, say for instance you buy up here, or you bought during, like, you probably bought in here for a long, and you're holding all the way here, and well, hopefully you took some profits, you know, along the way. But But if you know short signals and long signals, short signals will also be a way for you to exit your long positions. So if this breaks, you know, if you're still holding it long, you know, be sure to just stop out and exit, right? Because short's gonna power in there, and it's also a short signal, so that's why you have this downward move. So it's also learned to learn both short and long, even though if you're just a long trader, like just a buyer, this it helps to learn both, so you understand how the stock moves. Yeah, so that's FEDU. Unfortunately, don't have shorts available. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, but pretty slow day. FTFT. Right now it's a bit extended on the hourly chart, but it's holding this 15-minute trend. So, and it's also getting late in the morning, but there's a potential flag break here. You draw a flag line connecting these. If it ends up holding VWAP, maybe a higher low here, it's a very tight risk they can try. The only concern is going towards the lunch part of the day, and the hourly is getting extended. Usually during the second half of trading days, pull up an hourly chart. Pull up the hourly chart candle, and make sure if you ever going long, like during power hour or whatever, that it has gone down to the hourly chart. Because if this guy continues like this the next hours, and this is like right here, most likely it'll probably go back down. Yeah, I don't look at any news. I have a pre-market like scanner. Let's see, today's desktop. Yeah, I had to minimize my. So I have a scanner that I created. It's just like today's pre-market. But and then I just swipe for the percentage gainer, like this, and I just scan through the charts. And if the pre-market seems to be like consolidating or holding up, I'll probably watch those. But if the pre-market, just has like a continuous sell-off from either previous after hours or something, then I'll watch it if there's any pattern to form. But I'll look through my today's pre-market thing, and then later part of the day I'll go to like this number 2, which is usually in the morning, like after market opens. It'll be like 10%, and it's up 300, at least 300,000 in volume. And then for the later part of the day, I expect more volume, so I just increase that to 1 million volume. And then this one is like 30 cents in price to open some of my criteria. And then like if I see stocks that maybe there's only a handful of stocks that are above 10%, I'll probably open my criteria to up 5% of the day to see if there's anything there. And then I have a few others that I look for. Like I created this scanner, and it's a 15-minute contraction. So I created a custom scan that shows me with each 50 minutes, it's giving you lower highs and higher lows. So it's like contracting. So it's potentially, you know, a breakout finder, or just like something that's narrowed, and then it's gonna expand, right? Either break out or break down. So those are just contractions, and then I have the hourly contraction as well. And then I have an hourly, like an after hour up 5%. So in this case I trade after hours. But yeah, I just kind of go and just switch through these scanners throughout the day, depending on the action. But yeah, in the morning I just use the today pre-market scan. And it's a pretty easy scan, but yeah, I don't really look at news sites or anything. I just trade based off price action and how the stock moves. But yeah, the platform I'm using, it's called Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade, and it is free to use, and you don't have to fund an account to use the platform. And they have a lot of things on here. You can create your own scanners. And I also create a lot of my indicators. So these lines are all things that help me, and these labels. Yeah, EIQ, yeah. Don't want to be in these stocks, right? You buy into this hype at $30, it opens at 18, you're already destroyed half your account. Yeah. Hey Carlos Cueva, FEDU. So I was just going over this. So it had a short signal. So you can see it created lower highs, and then inverted cup and handle here for a short signal. So your question is it going to go up before it goes up? I think today it's probably done. I don't think it's gonna go higher. I don't think it's gonna go, you know, above 264 today. I think it'll go lower, or just stay around this level between 160 and 180, $2. Yeah, you can use it as free charting. It's totally free. You just need to open an account. You don't have to fund it or anything. And you can use it as a free charting software. I think it's probably the best free charting software out there. A lot of people use it, even though they use other brokers to trade. But I trade directly on here as well. Yeah, GME. So GME, I actually I do have another account where I occasionally buy some options or swing trade. But I did buy I bought a put, 150 put on this day, because it was having this same patterns I look for, inverted cup and handle. So I bought an option put there, 150 puts, and I pretty much sold the put at 135. It went to a low as 112. Right now it's rebounding, so I sold it already. But yeah, this was an inverted cup and handle here that broke. You can see 172 was support. Broke that. And then I also had AMC put. I was 1 day late. I bought expiration on Friday, so it expired worthless. But I had a 1250 put on AMC on this day, and the reason being, you can see the 9 EMA is extended. Like I mentioned that stocks will gravitate towards that. It's extended here. It failed to break 5 days, and it's a red day, and it was extended. So I was expecting this Friday here to be like that pullback to $12. But it ended up just hanging on here, and then on Monday and Tuesday, that's where the crash happened. So I was, a day late on those option puts. Yeah, I pretty much bought like that weekly with 1 day expiration. Okay. MKD, molecular data. So molecular data just looks like it's sold off a little gap. Was it through earnings? Earnings, no. So yeah, this looks like it's just dropping. I don't see anything right now interesting. It actually broke low of day. It's retesting the hourly chart though, so you might have some consolidation around this 110, 116 area. But yeah, in terms of if you're gonna hold for a swing trade or something like that, it double bottom at $1. Yeah, hasn't shown me any bullish sign. It looks like just it might try to test $1 again. It might break $1, so I'll be careful with this. Definitely it needs to hold 140 as support to go higher. So one of the things, I tell my viewers all the time is it's better to buy higher than lower. And the reasoning behind that is when you buy higher, you're buying with momentum, expecting the price to go higher. When you buy lower, you don't know, you're kind of 50-50. It can go lower. But if you buy higher with momentum, at least like that breakout level, then it will continue higher. But yeah, you have to buy at the breakout level, not just any high. Oh, and I only stream for like an hour or two in the morning. I do have a full-time job at a biotech company, so I do usually just sign off, but I do trade on and off, like offline. So if you want to see some of my alerts that I'm watching, you can join the Discord, and I occasionally just post on there the chart, picture of the chart, and what my plan is. Oh, FTFT ended up breaking out there. I mentioned this, broke out the flag. Holding the 15-minute chart, got a flag, held VWAP, volume push, breakout. So there's a breakout on FTFT. Wasn't paying attention, but that was an idea that I showed earlier. So it gives a pretty tight risk. 615, 610. Next decade. Yeah, this one looks like another fader. It's having trouble at the 200 EMA. This purple line. Yeah, so this doesn't look too good. It's under VWAP, and you can see VWAP is holding as a resistance here. So anything you want, anytime you want to buy or go long, it needs to go above VWAP and above the hourly chart. You pull up the hourly chart, it's below the hourly chart, EMA. So it's a lot of weakness. Anytime you want to long something, you have to make sure it's above the hourly chart. Like this. You can see it goes up, hourly chart, below it, dead, and then now it's above hourly chart, now it's below it. So you want to be in the, it's the same side as the hourly chart. Right now it's doesn't look good, but on the daily chart it's getting extended, but it's above the daily chart, so it can still consolidate, maybe a cup and handle here in the next few weeks. EIQ, or EEIQ is dead, right? You want to avoid those type of stocks. They probably just got pumped up. Oh, HOFV. Oh, okay. Looks like we missed it here, but very nice cup and handle here forming. The buy was at 523, stop at 515. Wow, that's pretty good. It's an 8-cent risk, and it looks pretty good. $0.08, and it went to a high of like 35 or so. It's like, I guess 15 cents profit. But yeah, it's too late now. Sometimes I would buy the dip here. So so one thing is buy the dip after a breakout. That'll probably be the best dip buying. Oh yeah, Angel, you can't short. So depends. It really depends on your broker if you can short or not. But you can see on the side here on this list, I have ETB, which means easy to borrow. And easy to borrow means it has the broker has a lot of inventory of the stock, and you can just short it without being asked, with no questions asked. But you also need a margin account, so make sure you, depending on your broker, you have to sign up for a margin account to be able to short. And depending on your broker too, these will be different from different brokers. But for me, Rail is easy to borrow. And then you also have HTB, which is hard to borrow. So some stocks you can't short unless you locate the shares. And when you locate the shares, there's a small fee that the broker pay. So my broker, or oh, is my Discord link broken? Invite people. Oh, how do you set the list here? How do you set this list? So to set it up, let me go to this here. It's very simple. You just go Do you already have your watch list set up here? So if you already have this, just click on the gear here. Customize. And then on here, look up a column. Just search HTB right here. And then just add that to your list. So just add item. And it'll show up here. I already have it here, and then you just click OK, and then it should show up here, which ones are shortable. But it really depends on if your broker has those shares available. It's not going to it's going to be different for each broker. Cool. Yeah, thanks for joining. Right now we only have a few people, so I just opened it. Yeah, and yeah, for the hard to borrow program, yeah, you need to locate and you need to get into the program if you have Thinkorswim. But the ones that are NTP, they're none to borrow. So I can't short these. So like this FEDU clo, I can't short these. So that's why I was mentioning like on FEDU there was a short signal, but I couldn't short it because it was none to borrow, right? So this was a short signal right there, but I couldn't short it because it was NTD on my broker. And watch this criteria. So if you go to scan, right? Let me. Yeah. So right now I don't see anything moving. So so you can go. I could load a query. So the query I'm gonna load would be. It's pretty simple. So the one that I have on my screen right now, the ones on here on the left, these are the criteria. So I have mark, at least 50 cents. You can go lower if you're trading smaller, like penny stocks. So I trade like roughly, they need to be higher, 50 cents. And then volume is just 1 million. And you could lower these criteria. So I have one that's 300,000, and I change this throughout the day. So like right now, after the market has been open for like 2 hours, I'll increase this a little higher, and then change would just be 10%. It's pretty simple, and then you just hit save, save scan query, and then you give it a name, and then you just go to your watch this here, and then just open the query, and then it'll just populate those. And then for my pre-market, so pre-market, you have to make sure to use the mark, and then on your pre-market, make sure you add mark on there as well. So I think normally it is at last or change or something, last or close. So the last and close doesn't give you the pre-market and after hour changes. So I use mark, like I use mark and mark percent change instead of net change and or percent change and last. Yeah, so last and percent change, it doesn't calculate pre-market and after hours. So use mark, it will always reflect the current price, pre-market and after hours. And then I would just hit sorting by mark percent change, and you'll see the pre-market, stocks that are high. Yeah, I'm starting a Thinkorswim kind of series on how to create your indicators and stuff. So I have one video that shows how to create these labels that you see here. So you can see this is 36% up from the close, but it's only up 4% on the opened. So right now here's the open, and the current price, that's only 5%. And then I have the volume here, 76 million. So I have a video starting to play this, how to create these, and the average volume is down here. So typically this stock only trade like 120,000 average volume, but now today it's like 76%. Let's see, I'm gonna scan through the stock one more time here and see if there's anything else moving. Rail. CENX. So CENX, I might look to go short. Let's see. So let's extend on the 5-minute chart. Has this trend line. It's a little spready. Not the best, but if it gives a lower high here, I'll probably look to a short. 1780s potential. I was gonna wait for that setup. Okay. Some volume there. So this low is 1847. What was that stock? CENX. So I might try this small. If it breaks 1847, it hasn't broken the 5-minute chart yet, so it needs to break that first. So I went short there. I'm gonna stop at this high here. 1860s. So I'm attempting a short, so. Small risk. It hasn't broken 1847 yet though. Okay, so it's holding. Yeah, so it was a little bit too early. I think another lower high would probably be better. Let's see, so so 1883, so that's 30 cents. So this will be a $60 loss if I take 1883 stop. So I'm just gonna hang on here. Stop at 1883. So it'll be a $60 loss if I take a loss. But if this creates a lower high, I'll probably re-add. I'm gonna add more. It is probably high institutional ownership, so it might be a little, the way it's moving, it's still tricky. 55% institutional ownership. Okay. So when the stock has high institutional ownership, there's like algos. So it doesn't move like normally it would. Like this says 400 shares here. Like if I try to sell, it probably doesn't even move those things. But I'm gonna take a max loss at 1883. I'm gonna wait till it might get a little bounce, the lower high, and then break the 1847s. But if it breaks 1847, I'll probably try to add a little bit more. So it's at 1847 right now on the bid. Still holding this level, but lower high might be forming, so. Okay, so I add a little bit more there, 1845, 46. Since it's starting to break, but so there's the 5-minute. It's test and it's breaking. All right, so I'm at 400 shares short at 1847, and there's the break. Let's see if we can hold. So my stop is going to be just right above this 1860s. So So that's probably the first time it tested the 15-minute chart. So I'll be stopping at 1860. I had a little bounce on the 5-minute chart. This is the first time it actually touched it. So let's see if this creates a lower high. But if it ended up breaking 1860, I'll probably take it off. It'll be the 5-minute bounce. So rail looks like it's setting up for a short as well. Okay, never mind. Okay, so now let's try and push through. So if this does push through, first target's going to be around VWAP. Probably take some like around the low 1830s and then $18 area. Let's see if it gets there. So I'm gonna move my stop up now to like 1857s. I don't like how it's like kind of consolidating up here though, so yeah. Yeah, if this doesn't push down, I'm probably just gonna take it off. I don't like how it's consolidating. I want, you know, a stronger wash from this break, but it didn't really give me that yet. I'm gonna try to be a little patient. I'm gonna stop at 1847. Or 1857. Okay, so I'm just, yeah, so I'm probably gonna try to take it off. Let's see if it breaks here at 1860. So all right, so it didn't really hit 1860s there, but I'm probably gonna, okay, so I'm probably gonna take it off here. All right, so I took it off there, $74 loss. Held the 5-minute chart, wasn't able to hold below it, and has a flag here, so I took it off there at 1866 for a $74 loss. So it's worth a shot. Usually I like to see it kind of wash down pretty much quicker when it's consolidating like this. It's a pretty strong sign of like holding on the 5-minute chart. So I stopped out there. So it's a good stop. You can see it going higher. You could probably consolidate and go higher, but so going, you know, knowing when to exit is just as important of knowing where to enter. So stopped out there, no harm done, $74 loss. All right, so I'm gonna call it a morning here. Let's see what else is setting up first. So rail skin extended, so I'll probably watch this later. CNTX also is high institutional ownership, so those ones are a little trickier to short because there's not a lot of retail shorts in there. And it's a lot of algo movements. The way it moved. Also, FTFT had a nice little extension here, inverted cup and handle. So like these stocks are more retail traded and it's a little bit easier to short. The high institutional ownership, it's traded mostly by algos like the banks and stuff. So it's a little harder to short. So I think one of my rules, if you look down there in day trading rules, is to avoid high institutional ownership stocks. I didn't check before I went in, but it had 55% ownership, institutional ownership. So let's see. Yeah, so I don't see anything else moving out there, but I'll probably hang on Discord if you want to follow me on my trades there. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a morning session, and I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in and watching. And I'll see you guys next week. All right, see ya. Goodbye.